Hi everyone, thank you for joining our webinar today. Today we are doing a webinar on dormakaba exit lanes, and we're going to talk about how they reduce errors and increase value for our airport clients out there. So today I have with me Bill Seibert, and he will be doing the presentation on dormakaba. But before that, we'll just kind of go through the agenda for today. This is the quick overview we're going to talk through. We're going to do some introductions. Bill will then do his presentation on dormakaba exit lanes, the problems and the solutions. And then we will have a Q&A at the end of the presentation as well. So I'm Alyssa Mathis. I am with Convergint Technologies. I am our aviation account executive. I work with all our airport clients across the country and our local account executives that also deal with those clients to help them bring new solutions to our airports and help them solve issues that the airports might have themselves. So Bill, if you could now introduce yourself.
Sure, and thank you, Alyssa. And my name is Bill Seibert with dormakaba, as Alyssa stated. And we are going to run through the our solution for exit lane technology. Okay, so we will talk about our solution for exit lanes. So our solution provides the exit corridor without the use of a guard. So typically you have the TSA agent, or you have a security officer that you've hired, or police, airport police sitting there at the corridor. So this is an unmanned solution. Your ROI, your return on investment, potentially could be about 18 months or less. That depends on the number of lanes that you purchase and also what you're spending now for the security guard. We use an average number. We use $150,000 a year. Which is an average, could be less in some airports, could be more in others, but we think it's a pretty good average. So on that $150,000 a year, potentially you're roughly about 18 months or less for your ROI. It is a modular construction. We build it right on the airport floor. It can be a standalone system to monitor, alert, and notify. However, you can integrate it into your access control system, and that's where a company like a Convergint comes into play very well. So we can adapt to their access control system. The system is configurable to meet your needs, whether it's safety, security, or somewhere in between. It does have object detection for objects left behind. It has a thrown object detection on the land side. It does have an open ceiling concept, so architects love it. And it is energy efficient with LED lights and very maintenance friendly. You don't need any ladders. And we'll explain a little bit more as we go along. So here's a couple of photos of what we'll be talking about. And let's talk about our models. So we have three different models. We have a one full height door unit, a 2 full height door unit, and a 3 full height door unit. And so the full height doors are here. Hopefully you can see my little mouse. So you have a full height door here, a full height door here, and then you exit. So this is secure side over here. The 3 full height door version is just a full height door, full height door, full height door, and then you exit. The 1 full height door model, TSA were not approved for your exit lane. So the 1 full height door model could be used in other areas, but not for the exit lane technology. It is too short, and it is not the security that TSA is looking for to be an unmanned solution. So basically 2 models for you, the 2 full height door version and the 3 full height door version. Let's get into dimensions. Height wise, they're all the same, basically 8 feet tall. the width, and we're talking about the clear door width opening. What I have standardized on in the US is this 1120, which is a 44-inch clear door width opening, meets ADA. You can get a cart, a gurney, a wheelchair through there with no problem. But then we also have a little smaller one, which is a 36-inch. I do not recommend going 55-inch. It is just too wide. This is meant to be a single file line coming through this unit. So you don't want people side by side. It gives too much room for somebody who is trying to breach the system going unsecured to secured side, way too much room. So I would go either the 36-inch or the 44-inch. And yes, you can have one of each. You can have, two 36s and one 44s if you like, or two 44s and one 36. So however you want to break that out, depending upon your space requirements, we can customize it for you. Then the length on a 3 full height door model is just under 25 feet long. The length on a 2 full height door model is just under 22 feet long. And we can customize that to some extent. We can go, anywhere from 3,000 millimeter to a 9,000. Just depends on what your needs are, both on the security side and also on the safety side, and how much space you have. So let's talk about the modes of operation. The modes of operation, you have flow mode, the interlock mode, you have a maintenance and a cleaning mode. Basically, it's the same thing, maintenance and cleaning. The doors will operate the same. Then you have a blocked mode or a locked mode. You have a free mode or an unlocked mode. You have emergency open and emergency close. So we're going to talk about the flow mode first. So the modes of operation, the flow mode gives you your highest throughput. Throughput in flow mode is approximately 2,600 to 3,000 passengers per hour per lane. So if you just go round numbers, 3,000. If you have 2 lanes side by side, you're getting 6,000 passengers per hour through that corridor. And it's a constant flow of passengers. So these work as automatic doors, as sensors are picking up passengers as they're walking through. The next door in succession, it is opening as they're walking. So there's no stopping. So it's a continual flow of passengers coming through. This is the mode that 99.9% of all airports use all the time. The next mode is the interlock mode. The interlock mode creates a sally port, basically. So as passengers enter, the exit door or landside door stays closed until the airside or secure side, that entry door has to close before the landside opens and passengers exit. So it creates that sally port. It is more secure. However, your throughput drops way down to approximately 600 passengers per hour per lane. What I'm seeing in the interlock mode is airports will possibly use this mode after hours. So let's say from midnight till 4 a.m. they'll use the interlock mode. They want it more secure, and they're not too worried about the passenger throughput. The other modes are cleaning mode, airside mode, or cleaning / maintenance mode. And that can be achieved either airside or landside or both, depending upon the situation, how the airport wants to use the lanes. So the next slide is a video of the flow mode. So as you'll see, flow mode, passengers are coming through, doors are opening as they are walking. There's no stopping and waiting for doors to reopen. So it's a continual flow of passengers coming through that lane. okay, which is why you're getting your highest throughput. Okay, so this is flow mode. And then the next video is going to be in the interlock mode, which we did ourselves for a test. So you see my guys coming through, and we're waiting for one of the security guards to come through. They all come all the way down. Airside door has to shut and secure before the landside exit door will open. Once that happens, passengers exit, landside door has to shut before the airside will open. So it creates that sally port. So that is the interlock mode. So I mentioned that the units are configurable. So every airport has this line: safety on one side, security on the other side. And depending upon where people fall, how they want this unit to operate, depends on really, do you fall more on the safety side? Do you fall more on the security side? Depending upon what position you're in and who you're talking to, hopefully you meet in the middle somewhere to where you have the security that you want, but also the safety that you want. So these units are configurable to however the airport wants the unit to operate according to their particular airport. Airport A is going to be different than Airport F. Airport F is going to be different than Airport M. It may be the same unit, and it may be in the same corridor doing the same thing, but how it operates, how they're getting their alarms, when they're getting the alarms, how they have it configured is up to each individual airport. So the units are configurable, in that way. So let's talk about the construction of the unit. It's a stainless steel model. It's a stainless steel unit. As I said before, it has an open ceiling concept. So everything above our unit is the airport ceiling. So there's no worry about HVAC, lighting, cameras. You see sprinkler heads. So there's no worry about any of that. Your ceiling is your ceiling. So we have these bars that go across that have the LED lights and our sensors, and that is it. Everything else is your ceiling. So passengers don't feel enclosed walking through it. Okay. In case we do need, and governed by probably TSA and where it sits, we do have a mesh ceiling that we can place over top of the unit. You see picture to the right there is Midland Airport. So there's no, ceilings are 20 feet tall. So we had to put that mesh top on top of it, of the unit, so that somebody cannot throw something into the unit. Okay, so that is also an option for you. Drive units, we have one drive unit per door leaf, and these are low energy drive units, and with a locking force of 1,800 pounds. So having one drive unit per door leaf is nice, not only for maintenance, but also for collusion. That is a drive unit, very easy for maintenance wise. 4 screws, take it down. If you have to replace a belt, 4 screws, put it back up. The half-height swing gates that are located inside our unit are a PETG door panel, has an 88-pound locking force, and these are used for as another means of a barrier. So TSA likes barriers. So the more barriers that we can have, the better for TSA. So these half height gates, they open just like with the full height doors. So full height door opens, half height gates open, and they only open in one way. So the LED lights for energy efficient lighting, we only use the LED lights. We have 8 lights per unit. So basically we have 4 lights in the front half and 4 lights in the back half of the unit. And these are 4 watts. So those are the LED lights. Some of the other benefits that we have, I mentioned the stainless steel construction. We also put this emergency egress button. This will go, if we have a 3 full height door unit, it will go on the middle door and then on the exit or land side door. If you have a 2 full height door unit, it will only go on the exit door. To where if somebody, for whatever reason, panics and they hit the button, only the exit doors will open. So the middle door and the land side door will open. The air side door will not open if somebody presses that button. And then also we have a output to where the airport can be notified if somebody does press that button. So that comes standard with the unit. If you would like to not install it, then that's fine with us, but it does come standard with the unit. Also, we put a camera on the inside of the lane. So you have the secure side door header right here. So it goes on the inside side of the lane, right in this door header, and it's looking directly down the lane towards the land side. This camera is tied directly to the airport CCTV system. They can have it on 24/7, whatever they want to do with it. But the intention is to see what's going on inside the lane. If somebody is trying to come upstream and breach the system, it will give the airport a picture of what that person looks like. Okay. And then we also mentioned that it will integrate into the access control system of the airport. So I thought I'd throw in a couple of other slides for you regarding the CARES Act. So I've gotten a lot of questions about the CARES Act, what it's for, what it's not for. So I thought I'd just run through a couple of slides here real quick. The funds are basically there to keep the airport running, to keep the workers paid, employed, and keep the doors open. There are some things, since it is a grant, you have to apply for it. You can, it's for the small, medium, large hubs, but this is, here we go. So for payroll, operational, debt service costs, it can be used for construction, modifications, or real property acquisition. Now, the additional documentation that it's asking for here, that is with the grant. So if you are going to use it for equipment, for signage, for construction, for modifications, things of that nature, there is additional documentation that you'll need to submit. Anything other than payroll and your operational costs will require this additional documentation for you. A couple of references for you. I've got some pictures to show you of different airports that we have installed. So we'll go through those. Top left in this corner, this is Portland, Oregon. Middle, we just completed Erie, Pennsylvania. So it's 1 lane at Erie. We just completed that last week. Top right here is Tulsa, and bottom left here is Myrtle Beach. We just completed Myrtle Beach about a month and a half ago. And then bottom right here is Albuquerque, which we completed earlier this year. And then we have move on to Elmira, New York, top left, and then middle top is that is Fort Lauderdale, Terminal 1. This is top right is again Myrtle Beach. Bottom left is Quebec, Canada. Quebec, Jean Lesage. Middle bottom row is Bellingham, Washington. And then the right side, bottom right-hand corner here is Phoenix Mesa Gateway. And then here's another look at Tulsa. So these are Tulsa side, looking at it from the secure side or air side. That is what I had for you. Any questions that I can answer for you?
With that being said, thank you so much, Bill, for your presentation. That was fantastic. And I'd like that you touched on the CARES Grant Act stuff because, I think a lot of people have a lot of questions about that and, no one's completely sure of the answers. So that was some good information that I think will help everyone out a little bit. So before we jump into the Q&A, I just want to touch on procurement vehicles because, Bill, as you know, dormakaba is on 3 different procurement vehicles through Convergint Technologies. So for our airports out there that might be a little bit confused about what our procurement vehicles are, these are ways to buy security products, kind of anything. They have many different products on there. You could buy probably toilet paper, janitorial services, security, you name it. These are used for many different industries. But as Convergint, we are utilizing it to help our airports procure things in a timely manner without having to go through a formal bid process. These procurement vehicles, they supplement the bid process. So you aren't going around it. You're not being competitive in any way. You are just supplementing that bid process that you might be required to go through. And, most of your procurement teams probably do know about this. And if not, I am happy to educate them and help them with it. But we have 3 national procurement vehicles. They are Sourcewell, Omnia, who used to be National IPA, and NCPA. dormakaba, their exit lanes are on all 3 of these contract vehicles to make it easy to kind of move forward and purchase these if this is the route you choose to go. And so Convergint can help with that as well. So with that being said, we will move on to the Q&A. And we do have a few questions that we're going to ask, and then my information is on this Q&A page. If you need to contact me for any more questions you might have, we will get back to you as soon as possible with those answers. Or if you just want to reach out and chat about the possibility of exit lanes for your airport, we are definitely happy to have those meetings with you as well. So, Bill, the first question I have is, have you done any work with Safe Skies in the past?
Yes, we have. So Safe Skies is an independent firm, of course, and so they have come. They've come to a couple of our installs to test our lanes. So the process is that Safe Skies will contact the particular airport. And without us being there, they will come in and do an independent test on the lanes. And then their findings goes directly to the airport. So we never see what their findings are. We don't. We're not privy to their report. But I do know of a couple of airports that they have come in and done their testing on.
Awesome. That's great to hear. So we did mention in your presentation a lot that you guys integrate with different access control systems. Can you maybe name a few that you integrate with, just so that our, airports know which ones you kind of move towards, and then obviously if there's one that out there that they come to us and say, hey, we'll get back to them on that, but it's good to always know those top few.
Sure. So with access control, with our inputs and outputs, we provide dry contacts. And so whatever the access control company is, they just come in with the wiring, we land it with our dry contacts, and then they take it through their access control system. We have not had, or we've not run across an access control company that we could not integrate with, because it's just dry contacts. So we can integrate with any access control company that you may be using.
Awesome. That sounds great. It sounds like, by the sounds of it, that the access control company is landing this on an input-output board, which most of them have, so that would make sense. Great. So we did talk a little bit about this as well in the webinar, but you talked about how the one door solution is not acceptable by TSA standards. So right. With that being said, can you talk a little bit more about the process of how TSA does approve one of these gates, so that you don't have to have a TSA agent there in the event that an airport wants to move in that direction?
Sure. So the process is, every airport has their the FSD, the Federal Security Director, and so we will install. First of all, let me back up. TSA will not put out a blanket statement stating that they have approved X manufacturer. So it's up to each individual FSD to approve the solution to be unmanned. The approval process is after the installation, the airport will have to write a new ASP, and TSA will not only test the manufacturer's lanes, but they will also test the airport's response time to our alarms. So our lanes combined with the airport's response time is really what TSA is testing, and that is what they are approving to be a manned or unmanned solution. So we have not run into a situation where we have been deemed unmanned. So through our testing, through the testing of our lanes, through the testing of the airport's new ASP and their response time, it's always been deemed to be an unmanned solution. So it's a combination between our lanes and the airport that TSA is actually testing. Awesome.
That's great to know, and it's good to know that you guys have been able to go through that testing many times and get it approved each time. And obviously, it is down to partially the airport's help as well. But that's great to hear. One more question for you that I had. So obviously, you suggest maintenance and cleaning, considering there's a whole setting for maintenance and cleaning. How often do you guys generally suggest that these systems are maintenance or have maintenance performed on them and are cleaned? And if everyone follows that, how long do you say that these systems should last in airport?
I'll start with the easy one first. Cleaning should be done about once a month, maybe twice a month. It depends on where the airport sits. For instance, Phoenix Mesa Gateway, you have a lot of dust just because of where it is. So they are going to be a lot more dustier than an airport sitting in, the middle of, well, Tulsa. Let's just say Tulsa. So cleaning really depends on the airport itself and how dirty those floors get. Maintenance, we do a quarterly and a semi-annual PM planned maintenance visit, just to check the belts, the sensors, make sure everything is working fine, they're lubricated. But maintenance on them maybe once a year, and then they'll last 12, 15, 18 years. So maintenance is very sparse. But if it's just like buying a car. You buy a car, you have to keep the oil changed, every 3,000 miles or so. So it's the same with units. You want to make sure that sensors are cleaned, that dust isn't getting in there, and that the belt, you check the belt on the drive units periodically. So it's just routine maintenance like that, and they'll last you 15, 18 years.
That's awesome. Thanks so much, Bill, for those answers, and thanks for joining us on this webinar today. I think your presentation was very descriptive and very helpful to all those out there. So hopefully, we'll be able to move forward with some projects in the near future. Thank you for joining.
Sounds good. And thank you for having me, Alyssa.